Well, we are with our friend Fireman Tony Rodkey of Countryside Fire Protection District. We're at Middle North because he's been doing some training over here with our students, and this is a busy time, Fireman Tony, because we're in October, Fire Prevention Month. So you've got a lot of messages for us.
That's right, and here at Hawthorne Middle North, we're talking about the importance of smoke alarms and to test them once a month.
Okay.
To remind the sixth graders to pass it on to the families, to change the batteries when they change the clocks.
So really, you change them twice a year?
Twice a year, to make sure that they have a smoke alarm in each level of their house, to have an escape plan and practice that when they change the batteries in their smoke alarms.
Okay, hey, I got another question for you when you talk about escape plans and smoke alarms and everything like that. Fire moves fast and it's dark, right? Because sometimes we don't even visualize what it would be like for a fire, but you've got, like, when the sprinkler truck's here, you show kids how fast this goes, and it's not bright and happy like you'd think of a candle. It's some very dangerous looking stuff you're showing them.
It is, and it ties well into the sixth grade science class because they're learning about the fire triangle, that there's heat, fuel, and oxygen necessary for fire, and that our demonstration is a sprinkler going off at 155 degrees Fahrenheit on average in 30 seconds, not using much more material than a t-shirt.
Right, so the fire that we're going to see that the kids are watching, that starts with just a little bit of combustible and goes that fast.
It's a simulated trash can fire that grows and catches a curtain on fire and then reaches the deadly temperature of 155 degrees on average in 30 seconds.
Okay, so that makes us really remember we got to have our escape plan and we have to have our smoke alarms. Have you got a few more fire safety month tips for us? I know we're getting to the point we're going to be turning on our furnaces and our heaters. And
absolutely. Burning candles, when you go out, blow it out. If you're going to be using your fireplace, make sure that you close the wire mesh curtains or the glass doors, that you have lids available when you're cooking.
Okay.
You can always put the lid on a fire.
That's the triangle of fire, right? Get the air out of it and we're good to go.
Well, fire needs oxygen. It's like us. Without oxygen, the fire's going to die.
Okay. That's a good thing to remember. So now, Fire Safety Month, you've got a lot of information people can always get online. You've been teaching our kids this stuff all the time. They probably know more than we do. And one time when you celebrate all this is when you have your pancake breakfast, which is coming up at the beginning of October.
That's right. That's going to be Sunday, October 7th from 8 a.m. to noon at our fire station located 600 Deer Path Drive. We have a special guest coming. That's going to be Smokey Bear.
Oh.
So I hope that you all can get there, have some breakfast, meet the firefighters, take a station tour, and come see Smokey Bear.
Excellent. So it's for a very serious reason. You want us all to be safe and remember this stuff, but you guys have a lot of fun over there too. We'll have to see. You got any bounceables or free giveaways? You usually have a lot of free gifts too.
We'll always be giveaways, and we also have the fire truck crawl through for the little ones. So hope to see you. Yeah,
that's a good one too. So, well, thank you for the information. Thanks for coming over and working with the kids. People should go online if they want to remember more. And remember, October is Fire Prevention Month, so let's all be aware and be careful.
Thank you very much.
And if anybody ever has a problem, what you like to say is, don't hesitate.
Call 911.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we're continuing our discussion of fire and fire safety. We're with Fire Marshal Mike McNally of the Countryside Fire Protection District. Thanks for joining us, sir.
You're welcome.
And we had just touched a little bit about sprinklers, because the fire sprinkler truck that was here, and Fireman Tony's been teaching the kids about how quickly fires grow and how sprinklers can put it out. Let's delve into that a little bit more, because that's kind of a technology that I know you guys feel very strongly for, because it not only is not just a warning, it actually prevents things. So.
Right, well, I know you spoke earlier about the smoke detectors, smoke alarms. Smoke alarms, they're important, and we have to have them to give us that early notification. However, sprinklers will actually help extinguish the fire, allowing folks to be able to exit either their business or their home and get to a safe meeting place.
Well, and we talked a little bit off camera. It's become even more and more important in this day and age, even though you guys are super fast. You have super fast response times. We're glad to have you around, but fires grow so much more quickly today than they did when I was a child. And can you explain how it's just a different world you're living in?
Well, 30 or 40 years ago, most of the products that we had in our businesses and our homes were natural products like wood, cottons, leather, natural products. But today, if you look around your home or you look around your office, most of the materials that we have within the rooms are plastics, synthetics, nylons, and when those burn, they burn much hotter, much faster. They emit more toxic gases, and it's so important that we get water on that fire as quickly as possible. And a sprinkler will get the water on the fire, and it'll also help everybody to escape.
Now let's talk about these. Now this is the sprinkler I think about. I see that in our schools and our businesses. But now when it comes to home use, I don't know if I'd be so excited about that. You say you've got another kind of looking piece of equipment that does the same thing, but it's a little bit less obtrusive.
What this is a cover. This is a typical sprinkler that we have, sprinkler head. And you can see in that sprinkler head there's the red bulb. And there's a red bulb, there's a liquid inside of there with an air pocket. And once the temperature reaches either 135 to 175 degrees, that glass bulb will break, the liquid will expand, and there's a plug inside of there, and that plug will pop out, and the water will flow out, hit the deflector, and it'll form a pattern that will extinguish and control the fire force. If you don't want to have this type of head, this is what we call a pendant head. We can also have a pendant head that has a cover on it that will you won't even actually see it. It'll be on the ceiling. Flush to the ceiling, and you won't even be able to see it. And they have it in all different kinds of colors, so it can match whatever kind of color you have on your ceiling. So technology has come so far in the last 10 to 20 years.
Well, and when you say it's the bulb that gets hot enough to break and then release the water, so that means it's a very localized. It's not going to be my whole house isn't going to be.
Oh no, that's Hollywood, Lynn. This is heat activated. So once the temperature above this head gets to 135 to 175 degrees, that head and that head alone will activate and extinguish or control the fire force.
Okay, very good.
And
like you said, this has been the technology's been around. We've got it in the businesses and the retail areas. It's just how common is it in homes though?
More and more common in homes today. In fact, in Vernon Hills here, most of our commercial buildings, our educational buildings, almost every one of them has sprinkler protection, and hundreds of homes. But we're seeing more of it. In fact, in our countryside district, we have over 1,000 homes, residences that have residential sprinkler systems in there. It's in the model codes now and all the standards that new single-family homes must have sprinkler protection, which is why we're going out and educating the public, the school children, because we're going to be seeing more and more of it.
More and more of it. Now, what if I have an older home and I'm not new construction? I have an older. Can I retrofit in?
Yes, there's more and more retrofitting that's going on today. And again, you can make it more aesthetically pleasing with your covers. We also have so you don't have to go into the walls and run any piping or anything. And most of the homes, the piping is either metal or it's a plastic PVC piping, which I've got a piece of right here. So they make it really, really easy to retrofit these buildings. And even they make covers, so you can put it into a cover along the wall.
It's like if I were doing it myself and wasn't going to be drilling in and doing anything. I could.
Exactly, so you don't have to go inside the walls, and we made it real easy. One of the biggest things that I found over the years, Lynn, with folks is that they don't realize, and that's one of the things that Fireman Tony was trying to show the children, they don't realize how quickly fire develops today with the plastics and the synthetics that we have. And we find, and there's been a UL study, that these rooms, a typical room today, is flashing over. And what we mean by flash over, that means everything in that room, from ceiling to floor, catches on fire and ignites. That is happening today in 2.5 minutes versus 15 to 20 minutes 20, 30 years ago. And that's why it's so important that we have our working smoke detectors, smoke alarms, and if possible, have residential sprinklers or sprinklers in your commercial properties to actually help extinguish that fire and help you get out to a safe place outside the building.
It's frightening to think about that, but it is something we've got to be aware of. It's not the same world we lived in. We have to be able to move quicker and react quicker and prevent these things from starting in the first place, like you said. So
it's definitely changed from 20, 30 years ago. But unfortunately, we're still losing almost 3,000 folks a year in America to fire deaths. Okay. And a good majority of those are in residential homes. And with the technology that we have available today, we're able to prevent that.
Okay, it's something really we should be looking into. Now, if people want to know more, I know you've got a bunch of websites available that we can do our own research.
Yes, these are excellent websites for you to get on. And the first one that we have is homesprinklerfire.org. Okay. And the second one is firesprinklerassociation.org. And of course, we got our countrysidefire.org.
Yeah,
website.
And actually, to tell you the truth, going to Countryside gets you just about everything you need from there on, so, or giving you guys a call. You guys are great. And now, I want to point out, this is one of the fastest responding fire protection groups anywhere, so we're proud to have you, but we want to do our part to help so you don't have to make so many trips.
We certainly appreciate everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.